What up, y'all? Test, test, check, mic check. Okay. I think it's good enough. I think that's good enough for me. All right. Today. Oh, first of all, your girl need to stretch. Okay, I'm reaching my auntie era. So it's time stretching becomes very serious again in my life. Okay, it's about to, I'm gonna be cold. I can already tell. But if I turn this fan off, I'll be extra sweaty. So let's just try it one thing at a time. All right. She's going the distance. So today we are today we're gonna talk about our feelings. We're gonna talk about our feelings, guys. Um, Most particularly anger. I had someone DM me and ask me how I handle and manage my feelings, my anger. And I thought it was a great question because if any of y'all know me, then y'all know I used to be absolutely incredibly, tyrannical. I was not cool. You know what I mean? Like, ho, is you cool? Oh, I was not cool. I was tweaking and geeking and freaking and some more shit. So, yeah, yeah, I have done a lot of extensive work with myself. Intensive, like very much, very, very much. Years and 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 years to this day. To this day. You hear me? I don't think y'all understand. Maybe y'all do. Maybe y'all do. Let me not do y'all like that. I think you might understand me, man. So yeah, I don't know. I've had a lot of things to be angry about throughout my life. And I've moved through that. Shout out to me. So we're gonna be talking about anger, y'all. As soon as I can figure out what up this is not working. Cause what up is this not working? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But whoa. Yeah, my shit's OD. My shit's OD. Anyway, I guess we not gonna figure that out right now. It's too bad, player. That's too motherfucking bad. Maybe. Maybe. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, brother. All right. Highest and best. We're just gonna hope and pray that everything is doing what it needs to be doing. All right. So boom. Let's just get into it. I've been rambling, not saying shit for 5 minutes. You know, you have 5 minutes. So this morning, I literally rolled out of bed blindly reached over to my cabinet where I have all of my like spiritual things, and I started pulling some cards with my eyes closed, which I ain't never did it before. It was interesting. Highly recommend. And these are the 3 decks. Show you that I used. These are the most popular decks. This is actually the first deck I ever got, Aboriginal Dreamtime. And then these 2, which is another dream deck, because I be having dreams, y'all. Shout out to Cancer season. I be having dreams. Shout out to all the water signs. You know, I'm talking about psychic intuitions. And then this one is probably the most popular deck that I have. People really like this one. Me too. I like this one too. I know. So these are the 3 that I pulled from. And interestingly enough, I did not check any of my socials when I pulled these cards. So I did not know that that young man had DM'd me asking me this question about anger. But he did. And so even though I pulled this reading for myself, it feels very generally connected. Maybe we're all going through something. Maybe it's Cancer season. Because I don't know about y'all, but Cancer season, I be acting up. I be acting out. This is why I know Cancers are really the scariest crash outs. You know what I'm saying? Like a Cancer crash out, they will hunt you down and end you. So these are the cards that came out. The Shadow card, which this card, I tell you what. All right, I tell you what, this card is a card. Amen. All right, we're gonna get into it. This is the Shadow card brought to you by your healer guides. I don't know if you can see that. So for this deck, every card represents something, and every card is, I guess, brought to you by a type of guide. You've got healer guides, you've got master teachers, you've got higher self, you've got helper guides, you've got runners, you've got nature spirits, etc. Right? Okay, boom. So this was that one, the Shadow. And then the Baby card, which can mean many things, but if you see down there, it says reconnect with your innocence. Reconnect with your innocence. What do that mean to you? What do that mean to you? I already know what this, just looking at the cards, I know what this whole reading is about. And then the last card, which comes from the Aboriginal people's deck, is the Sorrow card. But look at, okay, for me personally, the illustrations mean just as much as the words. So I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's how I feel about it. Right? Right, okay, boom. Shadow, baby, sorrow. Maybe a lot of y'all are feeling this way. Also, because this is the cards that I pulled for myself, y'all in my business, which really y'all always been in my business, so that's really nothing new. But just like, be nice, find it, okay? Yeah. So these are those. I don't know if this is backwards for y'all. Probably. Nope, that ain't right. There we go. I think this is how it's supposed to be for y'all. I don't really know. So yeah. Y'all want to just get into the reading part? I don't know why I be asking y'all. Y'all don't know nothing. And I don't know neither. So let's just fucking do something. All right, we're gonna talk about the Shadow. I think this pairs well with the energy and the vibes of today. Again, that young man, he DM'd me. He was like, hey, what's your relationship like with anger? I said, okay, first thing in the morning, you wake up. That's what you want to know. I like that for you. I love that for you. And as I've said, if we look into the Shadow, okay, anger is one of the emotions that's highly demonized, villainized, ostracized, all the eyes, okay? And personally, I've learned over the course of my journey that all emotions serve you a purpose. And just like anything, just like everything, it's bad when it's not in moderation. It's good in moderation. So anger is good. It can be bad. Just like too much happiness can be bad. Too much sorrow can be bad. But a little bit here, a little bit there, perfectly balanced life. All right. So why am I nervous? Okay. The shadow card. The shadow card. All right, amen. The shadow card is brought to you by anger, of course, vengeance, amen, violation, and spite. And I'm just going to read to you. So, usually, like, I'll underline some shit. So, I'll read to you what I think is the most important. It says, although no one likes to admit it, we all have our dark sides and our shadows. These are the less flattering things about ourselves that maybe take delight in being unfair or hurting others or abusing our power. Many of us are guilty of hurting and deriding others at times. So, your divine healers are present now to help you confront your shadow and to lovingly make you aware that it's contempt for yourself and vulnerability that fuels such hostility and misbehavior towards others. Accept and embrace your weaker aspects, ease up, and be more tolerant and compassionate towards yourself. Oh my God. The message that your healer guides are bringing to you is accept your limitations with grace and let others in. So, this is really talking about how it's more of a mirror, which I don't know if y'all can see that. This glare from this light is about the PMO. Okay. So it's more about mirroring than it is anything else. That which we do not like in others is really that which we have not come to accept within ourselves. Oh, y'all don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't like it, but it's the truth. And this is a part of the shadow work that most of us are not doing. And we need to get on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I'll put my business out there. I'm not chill at all, but I like to be low key. You know what I'm saying? I like to sit back and observe. So people who are like loud and proud, I would even go to say obnoxious, because that's how I be feeling in my skin. It feels obnoxious. It feels like sit your ass down, right? Sit down. You do it too much. But really, that's just because I have not accepted when I'm obnoxious. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel some type of way about shining my brightest and being loud and being proud and taking up space. So when I see other people doing that, it rubs me the wrong way, gives me the ick. And then now I'm projecting my own internal turmoil onto that person and judging myself through them. Does that make sense? You guys are smart. I know it makes sense. So this is saying you need to accept your limitations because we all have limits, and let others in gracefully. That's what I've been working on. Heavy on the gracefully. Lord have mercy on my soul. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to the next card, the baby card. Now, this card can mean a lot of things. Okay. This card can represent new life. This card could be taken very literally. This card could mean like pregnancy, fertility. You dig? But it can also just mean, like it says here, innocence. So we're going to read the dream time for this, and then you're going to decide how that connects for you personally. I know this right here is enough. Reconnect with your innocence. They talking to me right there. They talking to me right there, baby. That what it about for me. I can't speak for y'all. Okay. Now I ain't got nothing underlined in here, which means basically we gonna read the whole shit. This is what they talking about. The meaning of this is new opportunity. Okay. The message: born from beginners' minds are all things fresh and new, and you now have opportunity to release your baggage and start with a clean slate. Hold on, I know I got a pen over here somewhere close by me, because this is actually something that me and one of my friends have decided to salvage our friendship. We just say blank slate. Whenever we get triggered and we get caught up in the perspectives, we just say, you know what, blank slate. Because essentially it's like the person that you knew in 2005 is not who I am in 2025. So if you're making judgments and perceptions based off of 2005, then you need to blank slate, start over, and establish a new relationship with the person that's in front of you, not with the person that's behind you. You know what I'm saying? Not the me that you thought you knew back then. Because even if you thought you knew me, like, did you really know me? I don't know. Type shit. So blank slate. But let me, because that's important. Say, everything with this. Release your baggage. Lord, start with a clean slate. I hate when they be talking to me. I like it better when they be talking to y'all and it be y'all business and it don't be my business. You know what I mean? But hey, we're all in this together. Okay. All right. You now have an opportunity to release your baggage and start with a clean slate. The birthing process is breathing in new relationships. Oh, hold on, y'all. I'm triggered. Okay, it's breathing in new relationships, new endeavors, fresh perspectives, and unconditional, wide open heart. Feel your spiritual umbilical cord connecting you with your higher self as it cradles and feeds you the guidance that you need to take each turn, each breath, and each baby step along your journey. Babies have an innate sense that not only is the world a friendly place, but that it revolves around them. True. Relax and receive. Amen. You don't have to have all the answers. Yes, I do. I do. But for now, we'll let the spirit speak. Okay. All right. So the meaning in this is new opportunity. I'm stressed. Can y'all tell? I'm visibly stressed. I feel tense. Okay. Dreams of a baby symbolize innocence, vulnerability, untapped potential, and dependence. This dream might also be telling you that a new project or relationship is forthcoming, one that may require a regular feeding, scheduled time, attention, and energy in order to flourish. The mantra for this card is, with complete trust, I allow the universe to midwife me into this new chapter of my life. I like that. I like that mantra. Midwife me. Midwife me. Like, you know what I mean? Come on, universe. Oh God. I mean, y'all don't even understand how relevant this is to my life. I was literally just crashing out yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. I had a 3-day weekend of crashing the fuck out. And did. And I'll do it again. Okay. Now, this is the card that I feel really, like, genuinely connects with anger. And I'm going to tell y'all why. But we going to read it. And then I'm going to. Okay. Boom. So this deck, this is my first deck ever. So I really love this deck. But this deck always comes with a story and then the message of the story. Do y'all want to hear the story? One's in the chat if you want to hear a story. 2 in the chat if you just want the message. Okay, we're going to do the story because fuck you talking about. All right. And if I start crying, y'all, just leave me alone, okay? It's Cancer season, and I'm a woman. All right. As the young boy grows up, he looks to his older brother for guidance. The older brother loathes the fact that he's always being followed around by his little brother, so he decides to teach him a lesson. The spiteful, here we go with that spite. The spiteful young man instructs his little brother to go into the bush and find a particular type of rare lizard. The young boy, who is only too happy to oblige, heads into the bush, but it takes him a few days to find what he needed. The young boy treks back to camp to find it deserted. Lord Jesus. Okay, the mob has gone. He waited a few days, however, they do not return. As the seasons pass and the young boy grows into a man, he refuses to leave in case his mob returns for him. As despair and loneliness invade his life, he begins to understand that his brother, whom he loved and trusted, had tricked him. But over time, he had discovered his manhood and that he could rely on himself. Okay. The message. It says, trust is something that you give away much too easily. Be discriminate. You know what? It's not underlined. I got some other shit underlining here, but we're going to underline that because maybe they talking to me. Okay. And this is where this all comes together. You may be feeling like someone is talking about you or creating problems for you. This is a time to trust your own instincts and rely on yourself to make these decisions. Sometimes you need to take responsibility for your own decisions and stop relying on others to do that for you. This will give you the confidence to step forward and take back control of your own life. Now, I don't know if y'all are picking up on how these are woven in together for the same centered message, but it's very clearly apparent to me. So that's this is a balance card if I ever seen one. So your shadow card is telling you, hey, you really need to look at yourself for real. And relax. Like, be nice to yourself. It's okay. Chill out. Start over. Who cares about all the shit that you used to did? All the shit that you used to done. Okay? Blank slate yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Blank slate yourself. Allow yourself to be a new rebirth. Shout out to all the Scorpios out there. Rebirth. Start over. It's okay. Repent for your sins and make the appropriate changes. Which I think is interesting because this baby card is saying, like, reconnect to your innocence. But the sorrow card is talking about how your innocence and your naivety is basically what allowed people to take advantage of you. So now that you have the wisdom, girl, hold on. A word. Because listen, this girl on IG, she had posted, you could do like the little story note. And on her note, it said, how many times should I be told no? And I responded and I said, change the things that you can't accept the things that you cannot change, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all ain't hearing me. That's basically what this is about. That's what these cards are saying. That's what it's about. Okay? They are saying that you are old enough now to fucking know better and to fucking do better. Genuinely, sincerely. So, do better. Do better, but do better in the sense of not exactly what you do, but how you go about doing it. If that makes sense. Like, be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself, which looks like having good boundaries, which looks like knowing when to say no, which looks like knowing when to walk away, which looks like allowing yourself to feel your feelings in a safe and appropriate way. So that you are no longer being manipulated, like in this story, and people are not taking advantage of you, creating more sorrow. And this is where that anger comes in. Now, to the homeboy who DM'd me, asking me about my relationship to anger. We're going into story time. When I was a young chap, just about the wee age of 10, you feel me? I used to have blackouts. I used to black out. I would get so mad and so overwhelmed with sensation and emotion feeling, just general, it would be so much for my little 10-year-old body and my little 10-year-old brain. I would lose consciousness. I don't remember what happened. I wasn't here for the last 15 minutes. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And it was terrifying because it was like, it's like the ultimate level of disassociation. Like, imagine kids being mean to you and you try to go tell the teacher, and the teacher is now picking at you with the kids, and you standing there and they both do, and you're just like, okay, you started disassociating. You're just like, wow, okay, so nobody gives a fuck, right? And now you're spiraling in your mind. But you know how, like, when you kind of disassociate, it's like you might as well not even be where you are. Like, you might as well close your eyes and start meditating into a new fucking reality of just animosity because that's where I was at. Okay. But then it's like when I open my eyes again, I'm in a whole nother place in the classroom, or I'm outside, it's recess. How the fuck did I get from standing in front of my teacher to recess? What happened? Where am I at? Like, what day is it? What time is it? And it might sound like some cool time travel shit, but it was not fucking cool to me at 10 years old. I know that. And after so many of those types of episodes, I finally had to tell an adult, aka my mother. Now, I've talked about my mama before, y'all know we didn't have the best relationship at all. And I was trying to tell this lady, I'm like, Mother, I'm angry. I think I need to go to anger management class because I'm scared. Like, stuff be happening at school and I'm scared. You know, I didn't want to tell her I was blacking out. What the fuck you mean blacking out? I should have told her, damn near. I should have told her, and then maybe they would have took me to go get a CT scan, and then they would have realized I had autism way sooner. I wouldn't have had to find out at 28. Okay, I would have knew at 10, and I probably could have got the resources that I needed, and my whole life would be different. But hey, this ain't no metaverse. Okay. So on the timeline that I did take, on the path that I did take, I'll try to explain to my mother, I'm very angry and I'm going through a lot. And she said to me that you are 10 years old. What do you have to be angry about? I'm like, this, because girl, why did you do this to me? Oh, I can't believe that. And so I just remember, I said, okay, well, if somebody gets hurt, I tried. Like, at that point, I was just like, girl, I don't know what you want me to do. I done told the kids to leave me the fuck alone. I done told the teachers these kids ain't leaving me the fuck alone. The teacher don't give a fuck. The kids don't give a fuck. And then I done told my mama, and my mama don't give a fuck. Well, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, then where the hell can you go? What else is I'm supposed to do? I'm 10. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, I was like, hey, well, if I hurt this little girl, I'm going to be in the wrong, right? Okay, well then shit, I guess I'm ready to just crash the fuck out and be a villain. And I was. I accepted it. I put my hands in the air, Jesus take the wheel. Because I didn't know what else to do at that point. But I think my mom must have heard me say that. Like, oh, well, somebody's gonna get hurt. And I think she was like, what the fuck? Okay, let me look into that. Because within a couple of weeks, if not a couple of weeks, at least another month, I signed up for anger management class. And so that's where my journey with anger begins. I was in that class. I said, I belong here. These kids is crazy. Okay, it was people in there talking about their daddy was touching them. Your father? Oh my goodness. You know, people like, oh, I have to be in this class because if I don't, I'm gonna have to go back to juvie. I said, juvie like jail for kids? Oh my God. I was in there like, yo, I'll just be blacking out. I ain't actually hurt nobody yet. I'm not trying to be in y'all position. But I thought, and this is like even what I'm thinking right now as an adult, looking back at my 10-year-old self, I had the awareness enough in that moment to recognize we're in the same place. I don't want to be like y'all. Nigga, I'm here with y'all. We in the same class, coloring on these same packets together, listening to the same instructor, clumped up in the same little groups, doing the same little group project together. I don't want to be like y'all. I'm already in here with you niggas. So I had to decide, okay, I'm definitely angry and I definitely got problems. But I was not that far along. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never went to juvie. I ain't never hurt nobody. And I'm not trying to. And that's why I told my mama, like, I need some help. So I realized, like, okay, these are some badass kids. I don't need to be in here with them. I do need to be in here, but not with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, type shit. So I told my mom, I said, it was good. Like the stuff I learned in the actual anger management course, it was actually helpful. And like I had my little packets. But I told her, I said, I don't think this is the right thing for me. And the instructor in the class told me that I should consider talk therapy. I said, what the fuck is that? Again, y'all, I'm 10. Okay? I'm 10 at this point. I don't know shit. I'm just a kid. I'm just a fucking kid that plays in the dirt and makes mud pies and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything. Fa la la la. So she says talk therapy. I'm like, Mom, the lady said talk therapy. My mom says, okay. Boom. I go to my first therapy session. And literally, I don't know what to expect. And my mom is in there at first, and we talking and we talking. And then the lady is like, well, because this is for your daughter, I'm going to ask you to leave for this next portion because I want her to feel safe to be honest and tell me the truth. And we find that a lot of times kids don't feel safe to say how they really feel in front of their parents. And my mom's like, I bet. So she went out in the hallway, did whatever she was doing. And then I was in there talking to that lady. And let me tell you something. That experience changed my life. That's where this card comes in. Okay. Because she was telling me, like, oh, well, we got your recommendation because you went to the anger management. Well, how did you feel about the anger management? I told her all the little shit I just told you. And I'm like, well, the anger management was cool, but it was also scary because I felt like all the kids in there, they was just trying so hard to get a tiny lick of attention, but it was like the oppression Olympics. And personally, I didn't give a fuck about that because I want to say what I want to say. And I don't care about the crimes that you did, respectfully. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to talk about my feelings. I want to talk about what's going on at home. I want to talk about what the fuck is happening when I'm standing in front of my teacher and then suddenly I'm outside. What is that? Like, I need help with that. I need someone to help me figure that out. I don't care to talk about punching people in the face. I ain't never punched nobody in the face and I ain't never been punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? So the lady was like, okay. She started asking me about what kind of stuff was happening at home. And I started explaining to her how I was basically being bullied at home by the parents in the house, the adults, the kids. And then I was being bullied at school by the kids and also the teachers, the adults, and how my mom didn't give a fuck. And she always would side with the other people. Like, my mom was the type of mom, if I told her someone was being mean to me, she would ask me, what did I do? Absolutely incredulous. Girl, what did you just say to me? You're supposed to be my mom. What type of mammy says that? You know what I'm saying? So that let me know she not on my side. She not fucking with me like that. She see me as the motherfucking problem. So any problem that I give to her, she's gonna throw it back in my face, which she did. That's what she be doing. That's just, I don't know. That's how she's decided to cope with her feelings. She never went to therapy until after I was going to therapy. Hey, more proud to you. Glad she went at all. So can't complain there. But the lady was basically saying, like, so you're angry because of this happened, like this one event at school. Okay. And that's happening because you're doing this in class, and that's making you angry because the teacher's acting like this. And the teacher's acting like this because you're doing that. And you're doing that because this happened at home. And this happened at home, and so that's making you angry. So she basically just walked me down to all, like, whatever I said, like whatever the fucking little thing is that I said, right? And then she kept walking me down and basically was like, well, why does that make you angry? Well, why does that make you angry? Well, why does that make you angry? Why does that make you angry? And then eventually I got to a point and I was like, just bursting out. I wasn't crying at this point yet, but I was like, like letting it out, veins popping. Like, okay, I was really very passionate. I've been passionate all my life. And I'm telling her the tea. And then it's like, she's like, okay, so it sounds like to me, the real reason that you're upset is because you feel like no one is listening to you. And I just bursted out in tears. was like, yes. And then I realized, it was like boom, 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 like a split second. I realized, oh shit, I'm crying in front of this lady. I don't know this girl, right? So then I try to like tough up and not cry after I was just literally boohoo bawling snot nose. Kids are funny, okay? Because I was like trying to like be like stoic, not stoic. Like I said, I'm absolutely not fucking chill, but I do be trying to be low key. And she was like, you know, like, damn girl, you got me all vulnerable. I'm out here now. You know my business. I'm crying and shit. So then she was like, it's okay. Like she put her hand towards me. She didn't actually touch me. She put her hand towards me. And then she handed me some tissues and she was like, you should let yourself cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad. And she said, you know, actually, anger is just sadness in disguise. Usually when people are very angry, it's because they're not allowed to be sad. And that's just how it shows up. And I was like, oh my God, I am sad. And I just broke down crying even more. And she was talking, and honestly, I disassociated. I don't know what the fuck she was saying. I don't remember. I don't even remember the rest of the session. That's it. I blacked out again. Just like, okay, well, I guess I'm a fucking sad girl summer, you know. And then after that, she told my mom, like, okay, I recommend that you get your daughter into therapy. I need to see her once a week. And I was going to see that lady once a week. Shout out to you, Lori. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. I hope you're still alive, because amen to you. You was a blessing. I'm glad that you was doing what you was doing, because girl, you saved my motherfucking life. So I started going to see her every week. And honestly, genuinely, I was just talking. Like, you say I'm doing this right now? That's all we did. And she would hear me and she would reflect it back. Hello, reflect it back. Okay, y'all see that mirror? She would reflect it back and then help me to process and understand what it was that I was experiencing, what it was that I was feeling. What's up, Overlord? We're in the middle of story time. I don't know if you've been listening this whole time, but I'm doing a reading and we're talking about anger. We're talking about anger. Okay. So yeah, so that was my start of my journey with my anger. It wasn't really the anger. Anger was just how my sadness was showing up, because I was a sad girl. Okay. I was deserted. I was abandoned. I was abused. I was neglected. I was discarded. I was thrown the fuck away. Nobody cared about me. And if they did care about me, where they was at? And how the fuck I was supposed to know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all mistreating me. Y'all talking to me crazy. Y'all dogging me out. And then y'all letting other people do the same shit. And then when I go home, same shit is happening at home. And I go to school, same shit is happening at school. And as a kid, those are the only two places where you exist, other than when my parents was not at the house and I was feeding from my motherfucking self. Y'all know how it was back in the day. You leave your kids at the house, okay? That's what they were doing. They shouldn't have been doing that, but that's what they was doing. Shout out to the 90s era and the early 2000s, because I'm not gonna lie, it was lit. It was lit. I was climbing trees and falling out of them and breaking my back and doing all kinds of shit. And just being outside with the birds and bees and the trees, okay? And it was a fun time. Like, that was when I felt my most truest self, my safest, most confident self, was when I was outside in the nature playing with the stray cats and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to climb and see a bird's nest on some cartoon ass shit. But yeah, so that was my first introduction to, I guess, dealing with my anger. And it was very helpful, because I learned that if I could just express myself, the anger could just rest as anger. It would not have to transform into some crazy shit like lashing out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, them kids that just be doing shit bad and they act out crazy bad. I was almost one of them kids, but my brother was actually that kid. So I was just right under his radar. I let that nigga get in trouble for being a wild out kid. And I would just be the crying, yelling, screaming kid. And he'd be the one hitting niggas and punching niggas and breaking shit and stealing dollars off the altar. I'm not doing that, because I'm already in trouble just for being here. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, they hated me, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, they fucking hated my guts. Just existing bothered them so bad. My existence in that household was such a disruption to their internal well-being because, again, they could not accept their fucking shadow. They could not accept themselves. So the parts that they could not accept in themselves that they saw me representing, they were sick to their stomachs around me. And genuinely, I feel like that was a theme for my life for a very long time. That's why if y'all follow me on any of my socials, you'll see that I have the same bio everywhere. Because even if I make others uncomfortable, I will love who I am. And it's so crazy because I was just having this conversation literally last night. That's why I said this. They in my business. But it's okay. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for me. You understand what I'm saying? We're here for each other. So yeah, that was the tea. That was the tea. And over the years, so that was at 10, and then at 13 I went to a different therapist and they taught me like actual tools, because at 13, ooh baby, that 13-year-old me, I love her down. I'm not even gonna lie, because she was ready to be them kids that was in that anger management class. She was the one that was ready to take your fucking life if she had to. Because who are you talking crazy to? You know what I mean? After so many years, I realized if I don't protect myself, no one's going to protect myself. If I don't stand up for myself, it's not going to happen. If I don't have my back, ain't going to have they no back to be had. And I recognized that very early on. So it really cultivated this bitch, I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, sincerely, deep in my core. Ugh. I can't afford to give a fuck. If I had a fuck to give you, I still wouldn't give it to you, bitch. Oh, hey. Because I don't know what type of shit you on, and you might just fuck around and betray me. And then I'm gonna have to kill you, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that to be me. So I'm like, mother, let's get me back in those therapies. Let's do that. But it was also a really fucked up time because that was around the same time, shout out to the recession 0.1 of my life. You know, being a millennial is crazy. Sidebar, being a millennial is genuinely absolutely insane. How many traumatic life events do I have to have in one lifetime? This is absurd. But anyway, back to the story. So my mom is in the military, was in the military. And that's when she had went to war the first time. Like, for the first time ever. She was in Afghanistan. There was bombs and shit. And she had to leave me with my childhood abuser, her twin sister, mind you. And it was one of the most horrendous experiences I have ever had in my entire life to this day. And I've had some experiences, guys. I've had some experiences, but I promise you, nothing tops the way that woman and her children treated me in that house. I was sleeping in the garage, which was not connected to the house. It wasn't like a door you can go into the house. No, I had to go outside. There's a door on the outside and then go into the front door of the house to get in the house. And my room was the garage. Like, I was a fucking dog. Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying? Absolutely insane. It was like so bad to the point where my mom had to open up a credit card for me and send me $250 a month so I could just have a little bit of money to eat. Because that woman would tell me that I cannot eat the food that's in her house because my mom didn't send money for groceries. But then it's still that lady expected me to get up and cook oatmeal and make grits and cereal and whatever and make bottles for her kids. I'm not even the oldest in the house. You got a whole son in here. And I gotta now be the nanny to your raggedy ass, badass kids that don't fucking listen and have no respect. Like, she would go out randomly, just be like, oh, I'm finna leave, and leave all of his in the house. And I'd be like, okay, well, I have plans at this time, so I'm going to be gone. And then she'd be like, no, you can't go. You got to stay here and watch the kids. Your son is here. Why do I have to stay and watch the kids? Your son lives here with your kids. Those is his siblings. You understand? And I got to stay in here and watch them. I'm telling you, I was ready to hurt that lady real bad. So we went back to therapy. And that second time was much better because at that point, well, actually, so for the first time that I went to therapy, they told me to journal. If I start feeling feelings, write it down. Write it down. I have like a million journals because I really be doing it and it actually genuinely helps. Journaling helps. So I would be journaling, but then it was like I had no privacy. People was violating crazy. And so they would be digging in my drawers, looking in my closet, wearing my clothes, taking my backpack, using my lip gloss, my lotions, my soaps, whatever, reading my diaries, all the shit. They just did not give a fuck about my soul. They did not care. And so it got to a point where it was like, this is not working. I can only write so much. I'm about to hurt somebody in this fucking house. So I went back to therapy. They gave me new tools. They taught me about like EMDR and like tapping. Really, this one is better because it feels like a hug, doing stuff like this, tapping, just trying to get new data and information into your body, like reprogram your cells to feel differently. Hold on. But it's like, okay, imagine, like I said, my mom was in a war zone. I was also in a fucking war zone. And a lot of people don't know that because my mama and her twin are Libras and they be fucking lying. Ha! They be fucking lying and they be putting it on like, everything's good, everything's great. Shout out to them because that's how they got through their fucking life. But it was not good for me, okay? That's what we call maladaptive coping mechanisms. And they full of it to this day, girl. So I had to learn not to be like that and genuinely, accurately, actually assess my feelings so that nobody got hurt. And I used all the tools that I had in my arsenal. And then eventually I just had to move out of that space and go live with a different auntie in Buffalo, New York. I didn't have no therapy in there. And that lady had a whole different slew of problems. But she had been going to therapy for all her life. She had some coping mechanisms that were maladaptive, but also, I would say out of the three of them sisters, she was the most evolved. Now, she had the most issues, but she was also working on herself. So her and I got along actually very well. I'm not even going to hold you. We got along very well. The only problem was she had a 2-year-old daughter. That's where the issues came about because then it was very triggering for me. It was like, okay, now this auntie, being an auntie cool, I'm 13. Me and auntie cool. But now my auntie expect me to get along with a 2-year-old child after I just left being a fucking mother. I'm a kid. I'm not finna be nobody's. I'm not doing it. So then it became like problematic. What's up, Zach? Welcome back. Zach. We right now are talking about our feelings. We are in the middle of my story time about my relationship to anger because someone on Instagram DM'd me and asked me about my relationship to anger. So I said, let's do a live about it. Let's yap off and talk about our feelings. So that's what we're doing. I also did a reading, which I did not know it was going to be connected, but you know how the spirit be working. It was connected. So this was, let me just fill you in. We got the shadow card brought to you by your healer guides. Look at that. Okay. Mirror. All right. Then we got the baby card, which says reconnect with your innocence. I know that's probably backwards, but that's okay. And then the sorrow card. So I did discuss it. If you want to rewind the live and go back and watch it, you can. If you want to wait till later, that's fine too. Essentially, TLDR, this is learning how to accept the parts of yourself that you don't like, so that way you're kinder to others. This is forgive yourself, start over. It's okay. Blank slate, right? New opportunities, new year, new you. Do something different, but have the wisdoms of your past. So yes, forgive yourself of your sins, but take what you learned with you and know how to take care of yourself to prevent unnecessary sorrows. And these sorrows are what turn into anger. So that was the whole tea. Now back to the story time. I was an angry young lad. I was angry my whole fucking life, dude. I'm not even gonna lie, but I was only angry because I was sad. And I was sad because I was thrown away by my whole entire environment. Nobody gave a fuck. Hi, Overlord. Howdy. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Nobody gave a fuck about me. So, I mean, of course, that's sad. Like, there's actually a medical condition called failure to thrive syndrome, which they see in infants and in elderly people more, but it can happen at any stage of life. And it's essentially where your brain, your mirror neurons, don't see any other likeness to mirror or to bounce itself off of. And what it feeds the body information to say, well, no one is here to take care of us. No one is here for us to take care of. No one is here to see us. No one is here to be seen. So why do I exist? If there is nothing but me, I might as well not be. This is a literal thing. Failure to thrive syndrome. Look it up. And I feel like I suffered from that a lot. Like a lot. But when I was out in nature, I didn't feel like that. I just felt like Eliza Thornberry and I was talking to the cats. Shout out to everybody who be fucking with the stray cats. Y'all really my people. But wash your hands because you can get sick. Okay. And I was getting sick because I didn't know. I was neglected, y'all. Nobody was taking care of me. Nobody told me how to do anything. I might as well have been a wild fucking animal, literally. So, okay, we went from 10 to 13. 13 was wild. That's all I know. 13 was really wild. And that's where I started to, I want to say lash out, but it didn't really ever get physical. Like, I was never a physically violent person just because I was abused. So I was like afraid of violence. But my brother started turning shit up. So I'm like, well, then we about to be in this bitch fighting. We about to be in this bitch fighting. What up? What up, Woon? I don't know what point you just tapped in on, but we're talking about our feelings. I did a reading and it's about anger. So we got the shadow card, the baby card, and the sorrow card. And right now we're talking about how all anger is just sadness in disguise. Someone DM'd me on IG and asked me, what's my relationship to anger like? So now you're in. Welcome in, twin. You know what I'm saying? You might like this one because this is the twins right here. I think you like that one. But yeah, keep on track with the story. I had a very sad, disparaging life. And by the time I was 13, I kind of just accepted my villain mode because I'm like, fuck you niggas. If it's fuck me, it's fuck you. And I sincerely did not give a fuck. Now, if y'all remember from my last live stream, my wedding recap stream, I talked about meeting someone who helped shift my perspective. Okay. This is where those two stories converge. So my best friend, shout out my bestie, she is the person that I believe the creator put into my life to show me that the life that I felt existed did exist. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've always been a lover girl. I was always very kind and sweet and nice, kind of like in this story about how the little boy just had so much love for the world and he respected the world so much, especially seeing it through the lens of this relationship with his older brother. But his older brother was a piece of shit. Okay. And his older brother abandoned him and betrayed him, which is absolutely insane to me because how could you do that to your own people? That's your blood, cousin. That's your kin. And this how you foul. I hope he feel that shit later on. You know what I'm saying? But that type of spite and vengeance is what fueled me. Okay. I had tried to commit suicide. By the time I was 13, I had tried to commit suicide 5 times. Didn't work. So I said, fuck it. If I gotta be here, I'm gonna be here on my fucking terms. And I don't care. I don't care who gotta get mowed down. That's on you. Get out of my fucking way.
Shouldn't have been in my way, right? So villain error activated, age 13. But then I met my best friend, literally same year. So that was kind of crazy. And it was almost like, like I said, the shadow card, because she was allowed, her environment allowed her to live in this kind of like express her love out loud. I lived in an environment, well, that will get you killed. So it was like we in these opposite environments, and then we come to school together. Now, mind you, this girl grabbed my hand and said, "Let's be friends." I don't know this wench, but she wanted on me like, "Bitch, something's wrong with you." But also, I had no friends, so I was like, "Okay, like." I took my opportunity. So then we became friends. She basically meshed me into her group of already built friendships. They did not like that. They did not like that. And I became a target once again. But she almost was like a shield, because I hate to say it, she was the group leader, y'all. That was her group of friends. She was the one connected to all those other girls. And if anybody had problems with anybody, she was still gonna be friends with all them other girls. And because all the other girls want to be friends with her, we basically just got along to get along. Now, the tables turned when my mom came back from war. We got the fuck about that old witch house. It was the best thing to happen. Okay. We got our own fucking place. I had my own room. It was just me and my mom. I didn't, at this time I'm like 14 now. I didn't have to worry about dealing with the thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. I didn't have to worry about dealing with the abuse of my childhood abuser or any of her fucking raggedy ass kids. Okay. Like being the scapegoat for an adult's darkness, I must be somebody. Because why would my soul sign on to that? That's, at a certain point in my life, I start thinking big picture. I said, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. I'm an innocent child. You know what I mean? This is not fair. So, this is where I'm going to thread in the anger concept, because sorrow, anger is sadness in disguise. But anger also, like in this card, can represent vengeance and violation. What up, Stace? It can. Y'all want me to put the comments up? Because we got people on Twitch and on YouTube. Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to put the comments on the screen. If not, I'll leave it how it is. So vengeance and spite and violation and betrayal. These are the energies that are represented here in this shadow card. Now, I was a very spiteful, very vengeful little motherfucker, okay? And I, for a long time, didn't really address it. I just knew I didn't give a fuck. Like, I might as well have walked around every day like this. I went to sleep like this. I would eat like this. Like, this was just my entire demeanor. Like, you could feel my energy coming into the room. No matter how low key and, like, I try to be, didn't matter. People knew. They felt my spirit had something to say. And I was angry. I was fucking pissed because I could not believe, one, that my own mother would put me in such a heinous fucking life. Then when I expressed to her, this person is abusing me, mother, she's like, that can't be so. You're sick. You're fucking sick. And so I knew it wasn't fair that I had to go through what I was going to go through. And I was sad, but also, so what? Nobody gives a fuck that you're sad. So that made me very angry. And I was, and Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. I had decided at age 13, I can't kill myself. I can't take myself out of the game. It's going to be one of you. Right? If I can't get out of here, then somebody got to go, because I'm not going to be doing this for my whole life. So fast forward, I'm 14 now. The recession still kind of hit, you know what I'm saying? And this is where my friend, why do I do air quotes? Because she's really my sister. She's my friend. My friend, neither of us, I don't think, understood that the reason why we clicked so tightly is because we had the same trauma. Her environment did not look like my environment, but she also felt abandoned. She also felt abused. She also felt neglected. She also felt alone, even though it didn't look like that, even though she was still allowed to be loving and bubbly and fun, even though she was how I would say taken care of. Like, girl, you got clothes, you got food at the house. I ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I was on Meadowview and 24th, and she was on Greenhaven. If you know, you know. So I'm like, yeah, they shooting over here on Tamashanner, which is like, literally, I remember the first time she went to my house, that girl grabbed my arm so fucking tight because it was bums at the bus stop that I have to get off to walk home. She was like, girl, you could just come to my house. I said, good idea. But then eventually, my mom comes back from the war. She gets an apartment on Greenhaven. So now we in the same neighborhood. But I'm still 24th and Florin. You understand? I'm still Meadowview. Because, hey, sometimes you can take the nigga out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. Shout out to Tory. That's one of his songs. I love that song. And so, yeah, so then it was like, okay, her mom little money situation got a little, should be happening. Shout out to the recession. And then she ended up having to move with me. My friend moved with me. So I was living at her mama's house when I was back in the hood, trying to get away from the hood. And then some shit happened. And then now she living at my house, but we now in a better neighborhood. Listen, baby, I was in the trenches. Okay. I was in the trenches. Now, I was not outside in the trenches. It's like, you're not in the streets, but you live on the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. So I was around. I was not involved, but I was around. And once we got the fuck out of Dodge, it was like my mannerisms, it was too late. It rubbed off on me. They got me, y'all. But my friend, when her and I were basically allowed to isolate in this apartment on our own, we were able to kind of trade stories and get to understand each other and kind of bare our souls as sisters deeper in a safer place, away from her situation that had her fucked up and away from my situation that had me fucked up. Now, I have to tell a story. Zach, I will totally, please. That's why I said connect with me. Find me. I'm on everywhere, _Goddess Divine. Tap in. I don't know how to connect with you. I also have Discord. Follow the links. Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Zach. We will get connected. So this is where I was allowed to then process the sadness that was really rooted in my anger. And it was good. It was delicious. It was a nice little good time. Eventually, her dad and my mom saved some money to be able to get a 2 or a 3-bedroom apartment. And then she got her own room. I had my own room. And that's where I feel like I lived a good, clean teenage life. It was not ratchet. We was ratchet, but it was good. Like, it was crisp. It was clean. Nobody got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't doing too much out of pocket shit. Maybe we might have had some Jello shots. You know what I'm saying? We might have all put in our little $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 to take my mom BMW to the house party. We might have did that. Okay. We might have all hit one blunt that somebody stole from their brother. Maybe. I'm just saying it was good, clean teenage fun. We wasn't doing no gangbanging shit. We wasn't out there hoeing. We wasn't out there getting dogged by niggas. We wasn't out there doing nothing ridiculous. Okay. It's good, clean teenage fun. And that's because, shout out to my mom, maybe she did it out of guilt, but shit is the least she could fucking do. Okay. She gave me the space to exist without being too hands-on. And I will say W mom, because I remember one time she said, I'd rather y'all be at the house doing this and I'm upstairs and I know my kids are safe downstairs. Yes, y'all can have pizza night. Yes, y'all can have movie night. Y'all want to have game night? Come over. Y'all want to throw a function? Come over to my address. You know what I'm saying? Don't be outside where I don't know what the fuck going on or you at. I said, you know what? You're smart. I underestimated you, lady. I underestimated you. So that was like the beginning of me harnessing, I guess, all that angry energy that I had, but I was still angry as fuck. And the way that it came to be really was the mouthpiece. Y'all talking about I'm good at telling stories. Listen, this mouthpiece been on 10 since I started talking at 8. Okay. I used to be nonverbal, shout out autism, because why should I talk to anybody who's not gonna listen? You understand? Why should I say anything to people who don't respect me? Stupid. But then I realized, oh, I can talk for me. I can talk so that I can have discovery, so that I can find stuff. So I was just really mean and really angry and really spiteful and evil. And I didn't care. I also was an atheist. I didn't believe in some higher power that was all holy and good, because why would you put me in this fucked up situation with them people? Why would you have them people treating me like that? Couldn't find no answer for it. So going through my life, whatever, drama, teenage, mama, the whole spiel, okay? And then about the time that I gained a little bit of independence, I got a job, I turned 18. Life was good, had some money, I was dating, I was growing up, just going through life. And I was always a late bloomer. My friend was always the first one to do everything, first one to get a real boyfriend, first one to get a job, get a car, and move out the house, get a career, go to school. She was always the first one to do everything. And I was a late bloomer, so she was already doing her thing by the time that I was almost 19. And we went to a rave, and that was the first time I ever experienced God. I was like, oh my God, God is real. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I think it only came about to be because the amount of surrender that I had, I was forced to surrender. I didn't have a choice. If you know, you know. Okay. If you know, you know. And so that experience was wonderful. That was like the beginning of my spiritual awakening, but I was still angry. And to avoid this story time being 8 hours long, I had been working with that anger and working with that sadness and that sorrow. I mean, to this day, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if y'all would have seen me yesterday, you would have not stayed this long to hear me talk, because I was crashing the fuck out just 24 hours ago. Crashed out, like, to the maximum extreme. But the difference is now I can see it. I can hold space for it. I can allow it. So we'll just skip to that part. Okay. My relationship to anger is much better now than it was before. I have this book. I'm going to show it to y'all. It's called 3,000 Questions About Me. And sometimes when I'm getting to know a new person, I'll just pop this open and ask them a question. One of the questions last night was, what is the worst thing that you've said to someone? And I refused to say that out loud again, because I just didn't need to repeat it. But to me, genuinely, I don't regret saying it. I don't feel bad about saying it. Well, I feel a little bit bad because I feel bad for the innocent people who were involved. But I stood on what I said, and I meant that shit, and I'll do it again, and I'll say it again. You understand? Maybe I wouldn't say it again because I know better. But like, you feel the energy, right? Okay, period. And it was me reflecting basically on how I used to handle my anger. I would just crash out crazy. I would go to fuck it in 0.0001 seconds. If I felt disrespected, like I said, if it's fuck me, then it's fuck you. Heavy on the mirror. Because, if my life doesn't matter, then why does your life matter? If my feelings don't matter, your feelings don't matter, right? If you're disrespectful to me, I'm disrespectful. If we're disrespecting each other, then let that be what that is. But it was just so easy for me to go there, and I had to do therapy. Like I said, I've been in therapy since I was 10 years old. I'm 30. That's 20 years of therapy, y'all. Don't think I'm just sweet and cute. Got it all figured out. I was just crashing out yesterday. Okay, so it's constant work. And if I could say anything about your journey with your feelings, specifically your journey with anger, it's just this is like this card. It's okay. It's all right. You're allowed to be angry. Your anger serves a purpose. I was angry and rightfully so. There was a sense of injustice happening. And that's what your anger is alerting you to. Something's not right. Something's not right. You know what I mean? Hold on. Alarms. Beep, beep, beep. Alarms. Something's fucking off here. There's a sense of unsafety in the air. You smell that? Is there a fire? You know what I mean? It's alerting you. So of course, we should allow the space for that. And we should have the wherewithal to understand if it's a false alarm. Okay. And that's what I had to work through more than anything, is because my childhood was so absolutely horrendous. To this day, I have PTSD, and I can be in a situation and a certain smell, and I'm flashing back, I'm 10. It's crazy. Like, you would think that's not a thing, that it's genuinely a thing, right? Or I'm creating now a scenario of where I think this thing is happening, all because someone said a specific code word and I fucking cracked the fuck in like a sleeper agent on some insanity shit. So when that happens, I do not suppress my anger. I allow myself to be the fuck angry, even if it's false. I don't care. I don't care if it's false. So to the person who asked me in my DMs, so you're sweet and cute, just expressing. Well, sweet and cute people can still take your life. So always be aware. Always be aware. But thank you. I appreciate that. What was I saying? Oh, to the person who asked me about how to deal with your anger. You don't want to suppress yourself. That's my biggest tip, my biggest key. So my 13-year-old self, I'm giving you the fucking tea right now. If you ain't never tapped in, now is the fucking time to pay attention. The key to managing your emotions, and this is what I did for myself, for me, was to, I guess, visualize and identify which version of me was the angriest. And that was 13-year-old me. I ain't gonna hold you without a fucking shadow of a doubt. She can be the anger representative. So I now see that version of me as anger, like in the movie Inside Out. You know how they had the little emojis, right? And the anger was the little red one. Well, instead of the little red one, it's the 13-year-old version of myself. Okay. And when she gets the fuck mad, I let her basically take over. I let her take over and I say, well, what's the problem? So I'm not really dealing with my anger. I'm dealing with my inner child. And when I do it that way, it's much easier for me to have compassion, because I know I was her at a certain point. And I know that the reason why I was so angry and I was so upset is because no one gave a fuck. No one cared to listen to me. So really, all I have to really do sometimes is listen to myself. You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine your angriest self, the self that you were just the most unhinged, okay? The most empowered in anger self. Project that self into a seat next to you and ask that self, ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, mija? What happened? Who we gotta go beat up? Okay? And she was telling me, and I was listening. That's how I don't want to say cured my anger, because you don't cure it, but that's how I was able to have a healthy relationship to it. And in that space, if she said something crazy, let her say it. I don't even know how better to explain it. Is like parenting a child, but like maybe not even parenting a child, maybe mentoring a child. You understand? Is like, if she, for example, said, I want to kill my parents, I'll be like, oh, okay, damn, what they do? Like, why are you saying that? You know what I'm saying? My immediate reaction is not to, oh, that's bad, you shouldn't say that. Girl, I don't give a fuck what's bad or what the fuck anybody is telling you should or shouldn't say. I want to know how you feel. If you feel like murder, if you're feeling murderous, I'm curious. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Because that's some pretty strong feelings, little sister. What is leading you to let that come out of your being? That's what you're expressing? Then this is, let me get my water, because baby, that's a lot. Let's unpack it. Let's talk about it. And then basically I do what that therapist did to me, to myself. Well, why do you feel murderous? Why do you want to kill your parents? Because that's big. Okay. And my initial reaction is to say that's insane, but that can be discouraging even to my own self. So I don't talk to myself like that unless I know which self I'm talking to, right? Because me and my higher self, we got jokes all day and night. But me and my younger self, me and my inner child self, I'm much more mature because it don't take nothing to take her to the next level. And I need her on my side, okay? Because she is the anger manager, basically. So that's how I've learned to work and establish a relationship of trust with my anger. I have allowed the angry self in me to represent that. And whenever she shows up, it's like, I know this probably sounds crazy, but just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. All these different versions of myself sit at a table, and I am the center of this table. And it's like a city council meeting. Everyone has something that they want to say. Everybody has a little notebook with their agenda written on it. Everybody is going to have some time to be heard. And then I am the center of me. My whole total being is going to make an executive decision that is in the highest and best interest of every version of me. And so a lot of the times, this is where this card comes back into play. There might be something that you want and something that you want that conflict. And that's why I told that girl, change what you can't accept what you can't change, and have the wisdom to know the difference. That's this card, the wisdom to know the difference. Know when somebody playing in your motherfucking face. If that pisses you off, well, good, because they're playing in your face. What the fuck you talking about? But also, remember them times when you was playing in somebody else's face? Oh, that's that mirror. And what would you have needed from that person in that time? Why was you playing it in people's face? Because you was angry and you was acting out and you was wilding. Okay, maybe that person is angry and acting out and wilding. Should you have some compassion and grace for them the way that ain't nobody had compassion and grace for you? So then that's how I would, okay, so y'all see my internal with myself. Hey, baby girl, we angry. What's going on? Okay, she's giving me the tea. All right, you want me to beat some people up? Okay, I'm going to go talk to them for you. Then now on the external, right, I'm giving them what she needs. Does that make sense? I hope it's making sense. I know I'll be long-winded, but really, I hope y'all right here with me. That process has helped me love myself in the highest and best ways, in the dark and in the light. Because, well, for one, if I don't do it, who gonna do it? Y'all heard my story about when I was 10. So I have to be that for me. I have to be that confidant for me. I have to be that loving parental role for myself. I have to mentor myself. I have to be the guidance counselor for myself. I have to, because if I'm not doing it, well, then shit. Who gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? Love yourself, girl, or nobody will. I have to show y'all what y'all need to be doing. And so to that young man, that young brother who asked me, how do I deal with my anger? The short answer is the best fucking way that I can, with love and compassion and understanding that I'm also a human person and I'm going to slip. I'm not always going to get it right. Like literally, y'all, I'm not kidding when I tell you I was crashing out yesterday. I was crashing out. And I did all the things that I needed to do. I took a bath. I had some hot chocolate. I lit some incense. I lit some sage. I drank some tea. I took a nap. I took an Advil. I did everything. And ultimately, the feelings just needed to come out. And then once the feelings was out, I was feeling guilty and I was feeling ashamed and I was feeling like, oh no, why would I say that? I'm crazy. And then I talked it out loud and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm not crazy. I'm just releasing. So that's why I was cracking. If y'all was, that's why this card cracked me up so crazy, because let me reread it to you. Let me reread it for us. Okay. It says the birthing process is breathing in new relationships, new endeavors, fresh perspectives, and an unconditional, wide open heart. Crazy work. It was like I was going through the motions of rebirth. And if you've ever experienced a woman in labor, she could be mean sometimes. She can be short-sighted sometimes. I don't have the fucking tolerance. I'm going through something. Don't ask me no questions. Don't piss me off because you're about to piss me off. You know what I'm saying? Have some extra care. Like, tap in, my nigga. Wake up. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. You would be upset too if you was going through some shit like that and then the people around you was just incompetent. Like, that's annoying as fuck, bro. That's annoying. Now, this is where I have to tap into my moment of understanding and bring my higher self down to speak on my behalf, because I, as a person, did not have it in that moment. I said, you know what? I apologize if I sound angry and upset and I sound like I'm irritated, but I am irritated and I am angry and I am upset. So I don't mean to sound like this, but this is how I feel right now. Like, this is irritating me. And I was just allowing myself the space to say it. And that person was actually incredibly understanding. And I was like, wait a minute. Whoa, what's that? Right? Now, I've done that before and the person was not understanding. And that was just me recognizing, okay, this person cannot handle the truth. This is not someone that I can work out my feelings with. They're not trustworthy, at least not in that, right? And that's what this card is saying. That's this card. The spirit really just amazes me every day, sincerely, because wow. How you knew that, spirit? I pulled these cards with my eyes closed, y'all. That's the trippiest part of it all. And then for that man to come into my DMs talking about some, can you help me with my anger? Baby, I can't help you, but I can help you help yourself. I can lead you to yourself and help you help yourself. So, in conclusion, for the story time and the message and the lesson, you need to love yourself. You need to love yourself the way you want others to love you. You need to love others the way you want others to love you. That's it. Give them what you need, because the way your brain works, your brain does not know that you're doing it to them or they're doing it to you. It's the cross hemisphere magic. I don't understand it, y'all. This is literal facts. Please look it up if you don't believe me. And so when the energy of what you need is present, whether it's on a giving or receiving end, the energy of what you need is present. And that alone can heal you. That alone can help you accept and love yourself. So I told homeboy, I said, listen, it takes an immense amount of practice and willingness. You have to first have the desire to do it. So the fact that he even DM'd me like on some just super random shit. I have not posted on Instagram for almost a week. And for you to DM me, asking me that the day after I crashed out on an innocent person, this is letting me know, hey, it's okay. We're all in this together. So allow yourself to feel sad. Allow yourself to feel mad. Allow yourself to feel scared. Your emotions are a guidance system. Positive emotions, it's like the game of hot and cold. Positive emotions mean, oh, you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. You're so close to alignment. You're so close to alignment because you're getting warmer and warmer. And the warmer you get, the quicker your momentum is and the faster you will manifest. Your negative emotions are just the opposite. Oh, you're getting colder. Oh, you're getting even farther from alignment. You're out of whack, baby. You need to recalibrate because you're going in the wrong direction, which means it's going to be slower and slower, and your journey back to realization or manifestation is going to take longer because you're going the wrong way. Because there's really no wrong way. All paths lead to home. That's one of my favorite sayings. All paths lead home. So if you stop trying to get it right all the time, you'll have more fun. And the more fun you have will make it easier for you to want to do the work, because the work no longer becomes work and it's now play. And when you're playing with yourself, not to be like that, that should be fun, you know. If you feeling good, it'll be fun. Right. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. So I'm gonna leave it there. And we're gonna open up the chat. If y'all want to have your own personal reading, we could do that now. But that is the energy for today. Learn to accept yourself gracefully and with compassion. Be willing to change what you cannot accept and have the wisdom to know the difference. Let yourself off the hook, baby. It's okay. You didn't know. Them people had you fucked up. On my soul, they had you fucked up. But so in now what? Okay. So they had you fucked up, and now what's next? And then just move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Blank slate, it's okay. I bet you ain't gonna fuck with them again, though. I bet you now you know. You know better, you do better. Amen. Matter of fact, let me take a picture of these cards before I put them away. Cause yeah. Cause them people used to have me fucked up, y'all. And I used to be ready to just end it all right now. Me and my mom actually have like a little inside joke. Y'all remember those the Staples easy button? Well, that was easy. We used to call it the fuck it button. You hit that button and fuck it. I'll end it all right now. I will blow the whole world up and woe of the suckling babe just to stand 30 toes on my own. Behind me, I'll kill us all. What? Because again, if my life don't matter, if my perspective don't matter, if my feelings don't matter, if it's fuck me, it's fuck you. Are we not all equal? Why it get to be fuck me, but they can't be fuck you? Shit. To this day, I will never understand that. I will never understand how people live in that kind of perspective. Because it could always be you, baby. And I guarantee you, the way the law of correspondence works, it will be you one day. And you're going to be mad as shit. That's also helped me get over feeling like things were unfair. I said, you know what? I must have been a piece of shit in my past lifetime, because baby, the type of shit that I had to go through in this lifetime is unnecessary. What did I do to them people? I had to have done something crazy. It's the only way to make it right. So then I'm like, well, do the crime, do the time. I guess I'm doing the time. So I feel like I'm about to be free. Free at last. And I'm just rehabilitating myself back into the regular population. It's not easy, but it's fun. I'm having a blast. So that's it. That's the story. That's my perspective on anger and on all feelings, really, but specifically on anger. I don't know if y'all want to get a reading now. I'm going to let y'all do what they do. Let's see. I'm checking IG right now. See if anybody actually commented on my photo. And they did not. Wait, hold on. No comments. People don't. They're
people are just genuinely uncomfortable with feeling feelings. Everyone wants to hee hee ha ha all day long, and that's great. But imagine if someone just always laughed your feelings off and you're doing that to yourself. It's going to create an air of distrust. Well, maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'm a Scorpio. Trust is very big to me. Yeah. Hey, this one guy said on my other live stream, he was like, Scorpios be too serious. I said, you got that right. Because apparently we the only ones want to be fucking for real up in here. But I've learned to level it out. I've learned to level it out, hunty. Well, shit, let me know. I'll see you. So it's a couple people still in here. If y'all want to pop in, it's lit. It's for surely lit. I had another homeboy who said he want to get a reading done. I low-key flaked on him. Sorry. I be going through stuff. I'll be going through it. Oh, here we go. I'm glad you're able to elaborate deeply and that you were able to see past the veil. Me too, because I was on the highway to hell. I was on the highway to hell with an expedited bus ticket, nonstop, one way. I didn't give a damn. I didn't give a damn. What they say? If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. And I sure didn't. And who gonna stop me? We'll do it then. I was that type of person. I was that type of kid. If you're gonna do something, then do it. Okay then. Just the fuck I thought. That's what the fuck I thought. And I think that type of demeanor is cool when you're in that type of place and you got to survive. But I'm not in that place anymore. I'm not in a war zone. And similar to how, soldiers come back from war and then they're at home ready to fight, punching their wife out and shit in the middle of the night at sleep. My bad, player. I didn't know. My mind has not recalibrated to the new environment that I'm in. And me and my friend, we talked about that. It's like, we was in the trenches, girl. We was in the trenches, and now we're in a gated community, and we don't know how to act at the cookouts, and we getting invited to do play dates and shit, and we're weird and we're anxious because we not from this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you want to pop in, let me know. I will send you the link. Okay? I will send you the link. Because, hey, it's 333 where I'm at. Turn up. Turneth up, young man. So she's like, her nervous system is getting her used to being in the reality that she was wishing to manifest all this time. And I said, girl, and I'm packing my boxes while I do house hunting in the area. I said, we're going to be neighbors soon, sister. I said, matter of fact, let me use your realtor. Because, girl, I'm in a halfway house, just waiting on the transition to finalize. Ciao. And I know your story probably very similar, probably maybe a little more. Maybe a little bit more, because you are a man, and like I said, I was on the street, not in the street. You was probably in that motherfucker. 24th and Florence, turn the fuck up. Okay. Historic cross streets of Meadowview, California. Amen. So, yeah. I don't know. That's another story to tell for another time. It was important. I don't know if I would change anything, honestly. Like I think about the different timelines that I could have been on, and honestly, moving to California was the start of all my troubles. But had I not moved to California, I probably would have had different troubles. I would be from St. Louis, like shit, boy. Shout out to the dirty 314 in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in St. Louis was, I want to say, my most purest, peaceful memories. And being violently torn from that timeline, it was too heavy for my little 7-year-old mind. And goddamn, you could tell. But also, I do think being in the Midwest, in the like kind of country vibes, definitely instilled some of the principles that I have this day, like to my core, like the character values that I have in the core of my being, definitely came from that time. Like, even though we was in the church, I never fucked with the church. I never fucked with the church. I love y'all. But like the establishment of church. Like once I said, very angry child because people was playing in my face and I knew that and I knew it was wrong. And you playing in my face because I'm a child is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm like, y'all in here talking about love is the law, love is the way. Is y'all even listening to this person that y'all saying y'all following behind? Y'all not even following behind Jesus. Y'all following behind the Bible. Y'all following King James. And that's according to the book. Blasphemy. But then you want me to follow you. And you're a false follower. You're lost, nigga. Oh, because you're the elder. You're my mom. You're the pastor. I don't give a fuck. You're lost. And I knew that at 4, at 5, at 6, at 7. I'm like, bro, you're stupid. I'm not listening to you. I'm not talking to you because I don't have to. I knew my relationship with whatever that energy was. I didn't know what it was. I never believed that God was a man in the sky. That just was always sounded so stupid because I was a little girl and I had a mom. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I'm looking around like, Mom, these niggas is how, like, I always had a question. And it just was never making no sense. I said, somebody's fucking lying. And I don't know about that. So I couldn't get with the establishment and the whole community part of it all. But the teachings, that's still in here to this day. This is what, like, when I say I'm a lover girl, I mean to that level of like, I don't even want to say Christ consciousness because it's so associated with white Jesus. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I am like the all. You know what I mean? Some of y'all know what I mean. Some of y'all don't. It's okay. You will all find out one day. You will all know again. And so that seed was planted in me in St. Louis where I had the freedom and the space to have it planted. And I just always was that kind of loving kid. But then I went out to the world and realized, these people are not turning the other cheek. They are not being forgiving. They are not loving thy neighbor. They are evil. And I was heartbroken to discover that of the world, kind of like the sorrow card from the Aboriginal deck. I said, these ain't my brothers and sisters. This ain't, I don't know that man. Sorry to that man. I don't know these people. I don't want to know these people, but I was forced to live in environments with them. I was forced to go to school with them. I was forced to participate. And being forced is really what brought out that level of injustice. But once I realized, after having my spiritual awakening and then going on my spiritual journey, nobody forced me. I fucking chose this. Then I was mad at myself because why would I do that?
What the hell was I thinking? Why would I do that? Like, you know, people say, oh, I was angry at God. Well, same. It's all the same. And I was angry. And I was like, I didn't know where to put it because I just couldn't believe that the world was so raggedy. And then I had to realize, perspective shift, the world's actually not raggedy. The world is perfect and it's beautiful and it's amazing. Now, do some raggedy shit be happening? Yes. But amazing stuff also happens. So I just have to align myself with the stuff that feels good to me. And then it was like, boom, I just became this all powerful being. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that's what happened. And it made it easier for me to do the work. But the work is not easy. It don't gotta be hard, but it is not easy. When you really love yourself, you know what I'm talking about. You shall understand. So yeah, let's see. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, yapping my lips off. And yeah, it was great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining in. I might end the stream and then do another one for the people who want to get their reading done. Well, I have the patience of a toddler, so it seems like we are coming to an end, friends. Like we are coming to a close. So, shout out to everybody for pulling up. I might just play some Fortnite, I ain't gonna lie. So, if you want to see me play some Fortnite, let me know. Yep. All right, we're calling it. It's been real. Let me know. Like, do you want me to do this more? I literally just be yapping my fucking gums off. Yap away, baby. And I had fun. It feels good to get my emotions out. This is another tool, homie. This is another tool. Talk, get it off, verbalize it, process it out loud to yourself. Sometimes you don't even always have to have people listening or providing feedback, but I do find that helps me the most because I'll start looping. Sometimes I need someone to throw something in there to be like, oh, redirect, you know. So try that out. I'll be on live doing that because that's the best place to do it. You can talk to hundreds of people in one day. You can get hundreds of perspectives in one day, in just a couple hours. And then you fuck around and fix yourself. Fucked around and found a new perspective. So I hope y'all loved it. I hope y'all liked it. I hope y'all come back again next time. And for now, this is that.